Once again, this is Anthony Floyd, City of Scottsdale Green Building Program Manager. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone who registered for last week's webinar in which we had technical difficulties. It was something that a number of meetings going through the city had issues with. So really appreciate you having patience and re-registering to attend this evening's webinar. This month, April, is Earth Month, even though the actual celebration is later this month on the 22nd. We have organized through the City of Scottsdale and Green Living Magazine a number of activities, and I'm not going to mention all of the things that are going on, but I do want to point you to the city website, Sustainable Scottsdale, where there's some announcements of some of the events. And also there is a news release. If you actually search Earth Month activities on through Scottsdale, you'll find a list of activities as well. I also want to bring your attention a number of green building webinars that are happening this month. Next month is on April 15th is the spring gardening webinar that's going to be held live at Clark Park. And then later this month, we're going to have a Solar 101. Actually, there's a Scottsdale Co-op that's organizing this. I believe that's going to be on the 21st. If you go to the City of Scottsdale website, any page on the City of Scottsdale and go to the lower right-hand corner, there is a way to sign up for a subscription to various city newsletters. And there is one on green building events. And if you do that, you'll be able to get a notice at least once or twice a month of various events that are happening related to the environment and to green building and sustainable living. So tonight, we're really honored to have the publisher of Green Living magazine, Dorie Morales. And I'll just give you a short bio because she's been quite involved in a number of activities, not only in the Phoenix area, but down in Tucson and elsewhere. The Green Living magazine is a eco-conscious lifestyle publication that aims to educate, inspire, and empower readers to make eco-conscious choices for a healthier lifestyle and planet. A University of Arizona alumni and magazine veteran, Morales has worked in the industry since 1997. In 2010, Morales transitioned into a new role as a partner in her second startup magazine, Green Living magazine. Morales is deeply engaged in the Phoenix green scene. She is involved in many organizations that focus on sustainability, including the Arizona Green Chamber of Commerce, Arizona Forward, Local First Arizona, Arizona Foundation for Women, and the U.S. Green Building Council Arizona chapter. So I'm happy and privileged to be able to introduce to you Dorie Morales. Dorie, welcome.
Thank you, Anthony. It's an honor to be here. This is the second time I've gotten to speak at the Green Lecture Building Series. So I'm really excited that we have partnered with the City of Scottsdale and we're doing simple solutions throughout the month to restore our Earth. So I wanted to start out by sharing a little bit. I'll share a little bit about the magazine. Anthony already gave you our mission, but I'll reiterate our mission, our vision. I'll tell you a little bit of my background, and then I'm going to take you on a virtual tour of my home, and then I'll also give you some simple solutions that you can use during my presentation. And if you want to ask questions, you're welcome to ask questions during the presentation as well. So I'm going to get started. Our mission, we aim to educate, empower, and inspire our readers to make eco-conscious choices for a healthy life and a healthy planet. And our vision is a world which people live, work, and play sustainably, leaving the world a better place for future generations. A little bit about me and why I got involved in Green Living magazine, because a lot of people have asked, like, why Green Living? And so when I was, it was a business opportunity at first, Green Living magazine. I had worked in the multifamily apartment industry prior. And so we started the magazine, and then I started to reflect that from the time I was 0 to 7, I lived in New Jersey. And my dad had an acre garden, and I used to love to go out into his garden and pick fresh corn and tomatoes and different things like that. And then when I was 7, I moved to Scottsdale, Arizona. So when we moved out here, I started horseback riding, and I loved horseback riding, and I loved horses. And it was so nice just to connect with the horses and ride. And then I was really involved in art and working out as a in my teens. And then I was blessed to be able to go to France, the south of France, as a foreign exchange student when I was 17. And when I was filling out the application, I wanted to put metropolitan and I put rural. So my girlfriend put metropolitan. She was up in Bordeaux. She was drinking wine. She was having a time of her life. She was boating. And then I'm in this little village in the south of France, and there's about 1,500 people, and I'm milking goats. I'm milking cows. I'm in this wonderful farm home, sweeping up the floor and making, having cafe au lait made from the cow's milk that were on the farm. And then I saw the birth of a baby cow, and it completely changed my life. And just to give you a quick snippet, my dad actually went to see the family that I lived with in France, and this is just a beautiful place. It's very, very green. And then I went back 30 years later because after my dad had visited, they said, oh, make sure to send Dorie, make sure to send Dorie. So my family and I went back, and it turns out the family wants all organic, all natural agriculture. So they're getting all the toxins, all the pesticides out of their agriculture. And then they had a little store. I went into their store. They had a French Green Living magazine that they were selling in their store. And then I said, 30 years later, because of coming to France, it totally changed my life because I started the Green Living magazine and wanted to educate people about being more mindful and sustainable to the earth and how we need to go just be mindful of the earth. And when my husband and I got together, we had foreign exchange students live with us, and it really just made me realize how much we are all one and we can learn so much from each other. And I think, or I know another area that I feel like a lot of people forget to connect the dots on is lifestyles of health and sustainability. And you can be as sustainable as you want, and you can be preserving and restoring the earth. But if you don't have your health, you really don't have anything. So I have lost my parents and my siblings due to diet and lifestyle choices, and they've had cancer and some health issues as well. So I'm very mindful of what you put on your body and what you put into your body. So why I choose to live green, and it's for my family. My husband, actually, a lot of times they say, oh, the wife is more greener than the husband, but he grew up with a mom that was having him read labels, and he was watching documentaries about Jacques Cousteau and National Geographic, and was very mindful of the environment. And then my brother-in-law is an environmental engineer as well. And then when we had kids, Carter had some allergies growing up. He has a little bit of OCD, and then he struggled with some acne. So we've been really looking at what he's putting in his body and what's not processing through his liver. And he's had changed his diet multiple times. And then Keaton was born, and when he was born, he had asthma. So I was like, we've got to get all the toxins, we've got to get all the chemicals out of the home. And then when we had him tested for allergies, he was tested for 32 things and he was allergic to 28 of them. So my real journey began after that with making sure that our air quality in our home was clean. And so I'm going to go on and share a little bit about the different things I've done in my home. I started with my laundry room, and I say definitely get the chemicals out of your laundry room and your cleaning products. If you want to use local vendors like Truth's products or Eco Mama Clean, which is great. And then instead of dryer sheets, which are filled with toxins, you can put a half cup of vinegar into your washing machine and you no longer need dryer sheets. You can switch to a front load washing machine. It uses half the water. And then I actually make my own vinegar and water, and citrus. So I took the citrus rinds from a bunch of fresh fruit that I had. You put this in the closet and you no longer have the vinegar and water like smell. It actually is great to clean your whole house. And you can wash your clothes on cold. It eliminates 600 pounds of carbon emissions. So this is a really cool thing that I wanted to share with you guys. I'm really passionate about waste as well. So if you're using eco-friendly washing soap, that's great. But if not, or what's better than using eco-friendly soap in this big plastic container is a company called True Earth. They were actually on the cover of our magazine last month. They're the second fastest growing company in Canada. And this little strip right here is all you need to put into your washing machine. You can put it in all different types of washing machines, and it's a monthly membership. And this is how the packaging comes. So it's so much better for the earth and so much less going into the landfill. So I love True Earth. Then I went to my bedroom, and we spend 33% of our life in sleeping. So I wanted to switch out my mattress. We actually have an article that's in this month's magazine about how many toxic chemicals there are in mattresses. There's formaldehyde and a lot of really toxic substances in your mattress. A friend of ours actually bought an RV, and we went into the bedroom where they had all this mattress, and it was so bad we had to open all of the windows in the RV just to get this toxic smell out of it. And our friend said, normally I'm not sensitive to these things, and we had to put every fan on and just open all the windows. So I'd highly recommend switching to organic mattresses. I use organic pillows. I use organic cotton sheets as well. Cotton is the world's dirtiest crop. So if you can switch to organic cotton in your clothes and also in your bedding, that's great. And cotton is a leading cause of air and water pollution. 60% of the cotton plant goes into our food stream through feed and seed. And I bought my mattress. If you're looking at where do I buy an organic mattress, Organic Living, Brooklyn Bedding. There's also other stores as well, Scottsdale Bedrooms. And I think most mattress stores have some form of organic mattress right now. Then I went into my beauty and my cosmetics, and right here is a shampoo bar. Instead of having the plastic shampoo bottles, you take this bar, you just lather it up in your, you can lather it up in your hands or lather it up in your hair, and it's great to use, and it's very low waste. I have a loofah, which is a great, you can get it just off the loofah tree, and it's a great exfoliator for your skin. My sister-in-law had given me the DIY lotion, which is made up of shea and coconut oil and another oil and also essential oils. And you can DIY it, and then you can reuse the jar and give it to someone else. For men, we do men is spa, a local spa for men, and you can go in there and it's all in Johnny Cash, but all the products are natural. Dr. Bronner's is another great brand for unisex products that men or women can use as well. Then I choose all natural organic hair coloring for myself. I switched from perfume probably about 11 years ago, and I just use essential oils as my fragrance. Local brands that you can try are Quench Naturel and Peak Scents. Quench Naturel is currently in plastic, but they are switching to glass containers. But this is a kombucha facial soap, which is great. And then another fun fact is the amount of plastic toothbrushes that wind up in our landfills. So if you can switch from your plastic toothbrush to a bamboo toothbrush that's sustainably packaged, it's much better. And I learned that there are 1 billion tubes of toothpaste that go into the landfill every year. So if you can make the choice to switch from this tube of toothpaste to toothpaste, which you can buy, or there's there's like Bites and a whole bunch of different brands, but you can also DIY your own DIY, sorry about that, your own toothpaste with baking soda, coconut oil, and mint or cinnamon. And then one product to really look forward to look for is nano titanium dioxide. These are harmful chemicals that can be in a lot of your beauty products, and they get into our water supply and they harm our environment. I also want to recommend deodorant. So Tom's is much better than normal deodorant, but it's still in plastic. Here's another option as well, which is an Under Armour primer, and it's in glass, but it still has plastic. So when you dive down deeper, and there are some products where they'll actually put plastic here, but Native is sustainably packaged into cardboard. So the product's natural, and how it's packaged is 100% recyclable or more natural than plastic or glass. So then I went into my living room and I swapped out all of my carpet floors because of the allergies with my son to wood and bamboo or cork flooring. I have a lot of potted plants in my home. So the potted plants can actually, the soil helps with clean indoor air quality and toxic substances. We put window tinting on all of our windows, and it reduces our heat up to 80%. I switched all of my lighting to LED lighting, and I turned on, another helpful hint is if you turn off your lights, it can save you about 60% carbon dioxide. VOC, paint all your walls using no VOC paints. Volatile organic compounds are compounds that have high vapor pressure and low water solubility. And also I recommend using eco-friendly pesticides. My husband and I live in East Northern Scottsdale, and there's a ton of scorpions up here. So you can actually put cedar oil outside your doors to get rid of the scorpions in your house. And there's diatomaceous earth, which we put all over our house to get rid of other insects as well. And there are many eco-friendly pet rodent repellents and things like that. So you can be mindful of the earth and also get rid of the pests. A huge thing is that I'm pretty passionate about is don't throw away your paint. Let the professionals handle it. You can go onto the City of Scottsdale's website. They do quarterly hazardous waste events that you can go drop off your paint. And then companies like Green Sheen actually recycle your paint. Lowe's, Habitat for Humanity, and Stardust, you can drop off your paint to them and they will recycle it for you. In the kitchen, one thing that we do is anytime that we have extra water left over, we put it into a bowl, and then we take that bowl and we water our in-house plants as well as our plants outside. And then I switched from anything that I had in my kitchen that was plastic to glass containers and glass jars. And I also have a little to-go container here. And it's a stainless steel container. It's great for kids' lunches, but it's also great when you go to a restaurant. And if they try and give you styrofoam, you have your own container. And if you think about how bad styrofoam is, if you eat hot foods and then you think about that hot food and styrofoam and how it's leaching into the styrofoam, I'm very passionate about no styrofoam, and you can actually reach out to your restaurant owner and ask them, hey, could you make a switch to compostable products? Because there's a local product called Footprint that makes compostable, biodegradable products for all restaurants. And if you can't get a hold of the owner or the manager when you're there, you can write a letter to them as well. And they, if you could also wash your fruits and vegetables with vinegar and water. I'm very passionate about ditching water bottles. If I don't have water and I forgot to bring my water bottle with me, I won't get a water bottle because it takes, how long do you think it takes for a water bottle to biodegrade? Any ideas? Ballpark? Well, it takes 1,000 years for a water bottle to biodegrade. Reusing jars and bottles, I know it's been kind of different with COVID, but if you can buy in bulk, I highly recommend buying in bulk. You weigh your container and you can use a reusable container, and then you can put whatever grains or rice you want in here and you can take it. And then another thing that's really great as well to help with reduction of waste is when you have plastic bags like this or plastic bread bags, you can take them to your store and recycle them, or you can also recycle them through TerraCycle. They will actually send you a box and the shipping to send everything back to them. And if you're not familiar with TerraCycle, I'd highly recommend looking up some of the work that they're doing, because they can even recycle cigarette butts, which is crazy. And they work with major brands to recycle wrappers. So it is possible for a family of 4 to have just one jar of trash that'll fit in this little glass if you do everything to be mindful of net zero waste. I'm also a pescatarian but I'm limiting the fish that I eat right now because of everyone switching over, or the increasing people switching their diets over to a vegan, vegetarian, less meat, and more people are eating fish. It's really been taxing to the fisheries. So I'm really trying to monitor the amount of fish that I eat currently. The other great thing that I do in the kitchen is we compost. This is our compost bin and it's got the bokashi in it. And we use a company called Recycled City. And for $17 a month, they will give you some bins. They'll come and pick it up, and then they'll use the compost to for their own gardens, and then sell food boxes from their own gardens, as well as help gardens in South Phoenix where there may be food insecure areas, and they work with the local farmers to produce more food, which is awesome. And then another fun tip that I was reminded of recently was do not rinse your dishes. It wastes water and time. I switched out all my appliances to Bosch. I use a Bosch dishwasher as well as an Energy Star refrigerator. And I know that a couple of years ago, maybe 10 years ago, I switched from using paper towels to cloth paper towels. And my father-in-law and some of my family members, it kind of made them crazy, but it's been found that it releases, paper towels release 70% more carbon emissions than air drying. So air dry your dishes or use a cloth towel. Food issues today, please try to not eat anything that's been genetically modified. You can look for the non-GMO label, which I have here. That's what it looks like. And then if you do eat meat, I would highly recommend eating grass-fed or grass-finished. And the difference between grass-fed and grass-finished is if livestock has been grass-fed for any part of their life, they are fed grass. But if it's grass finished from the time they started till the time they ended their life, they ate grass. So look for grass finished livestock. Also, another huge thing that you can do for being very sustainable is shopping at local farmers markets. I love local farmers markets. You're supporting farmers as well as artisans, as well as local businesses. And it's just a wonderful thing to do. So, as much as you can shop at a farmer's market, I would highly recommend. You can also enroll into a CSA program, which is community supported agriculture. I currently am involved in Crooked Sky Farms, and you go to the farmer's market and you pick up 6 different items that you want in your box, or 8, depending on the plan that you have. And each week you have fresh fruits and vegetables. It's wonderful. And you can also, I believe they have a program where you could be like the lead CSA person for your neighbors, and then you get your CSA for free. And then you have like your pickup, you're like the lead CSA pickup. And then as long as you get 4 or 5 people to purchase the program, then you would get your things for free. And you can also get CSAs that you can pick up at local. I think Maya's Farm has them at different like Whole Foods and things like that, that you can pick them up as well. There's also an organization called Market on the Move, and you can get 40 pounds of fresh produce, and you can find Market on the Move normally at local churches and different things like that. If you are growing your own food, I would highly recommend Native Seed Search and Rocky Mountain Seed Alliance. They have non-GMO seeds. Diet choices. There are many different diet choices these days. If you can afford to eat an all organic diet, I would highly recommend. If you cannot afford to eat a full organic diet, then I would say to look for the Dirty Dozen. Those are fruits and vegetables that have the highest amount of pesticides and toxins on them. You can Google it online, but it's berries, apples, cucumbers, things like that. And then they say if you can't afford to completely eat organic, then you can do the Clean 15, which some examples are avocados, pineapple, cantaloupe, things like that. Pescatarian diet is what I choose, which is fish and vegetables. There's the paleo diet. That's more like the caveman diet. And the keto diet is similar to the Atkins diet. And then there's the vegan diet, which is no plant or no animal products, vegetarians, vegetables, and fruit and cheese, the gluten-free. And then there's the raw diet. And then there's the selectarian diet. My husband's more of a meatitarian, but sometimes he's a selectarian because he'll go and do a meatless Monday with me. But you can switch any of these diet types up based on whatever your preference is. We have an aquaponics system that we've had for quite a number of years. You can see from this photo, my oldest son is 20, or going to be 20 now, and my youngest son is about 6'2". And but we've had this aquaponics system for quite a while, and this type of gardening actually dates back to the Mayans.
Dory,
Yes.
excuse me, You mentioned slides and pictures. Actually, we're not seeing them.
You're not
No,
this whole time?
correct.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Wow. Yeah, I've had slides and pictures the whole time. Hmm. Do we know if Brian has?
Did you actually share your screen?
I did, I thought. Hold on. Let me go back. Let's see.
Yes, there it is. We see
Oh,
it now.
great. So, well, I had a lot of beautiful pictures previously. So, so this aquaponics system, we have tilapia in this system, and we feed our tilapia all organic fish food. And this type of system uses less water than traditional gardening. And then this is our aquaponics system currently. It's got chard and kale and basil and different things like that in it as well. The other the other thing that I'm really passionate about is the fashion industry. Currently, 80 pieces of clothing are consumed globally every year. And if the amount of water that's consumed by the apparel production is equivalent to 32 million Olympic swimming pools. And the fashion industry emits 10% of the total greenhouse gases. And the downside is I'm very passionate about, because of the amount of clothing that's produced, is let's recycle our clothing. So shop at consignments, upcycle your clothes, or recycle your clothes. And only 12% of clothes are recycled. What I do every year is I do a clothing swap in October. And I basically get most of my clothes for the year at this clothing swap, and I can hand back my clothes the next year, and my friend will take maybe that outfit, and I'll take one of the outfits she had from the year before. It's awesome. So I would highly recommend getting together with girlfriends and swapping clothes. There's also a company called Swap Society, where you pay about $100 and then you can swap clothes for $2 to $5 through their website. And if you're not into recycled clothing, then you can buy from sustainable, ethical brands that are Yes and Seed to Style, Chaser, and then there's a local sustainable apparel brand called Active Intimates. The outfit that I'm wearing in this photo is the pants are from a clothing swap, and then the top I'm wearing is probably like 5 years old. So that's another way you can be sustainable, is buy clothing that you that isn't fast fashion and that you can wear for 5 years. So that's a little bit about fashion and what it's done to the industry. Then I'm going to share a little bit about what I do in terms of living, working, and playing. When COVID hit, I started a mindfulness routine. So basically, every morning I do yoga, I meditate, I do a daily prayer, and I do affirmations. And then when COVID hit as well, I started an organization called the Fresh Food Collab, because I realized that Mike McMahon of Agave Farms and myself and Lori from Amici Catering and Jennifer Johnson from Witnessing Nature, we all got together and said, we need to do something to get food to those in need. And to date, we've fed over 700,000 pounds to those in need. And we're also working with the city of Maryvale for people who are getting COVID shots. We're getting them fresh, healthy food boxes. So I believe in very much so giving back to the community. And I believe that everyone in our family has to be healthy and organic. So I choose to give my animals organic and healthy food. This is the Honest Kitchen. I have cat food from Rachel Ray, which is very healthy for your cat as well. And I even believe in instead of giving them plastic toys, they play with hemp toys, products that are dog hemp toys for the, sorry about that, hemp products for the dogs. And then my cat litter is a plant-based product as well. So I try to be as mindful with my animals. And I also, as I mentioned, I've gotten a lot of citrus. So I like, instead of using air fresheners in my house, I take orange and lemon rinds with a little bit of water and I put them in on my stove, and it actually makes your whole house smell like grapefruits, orange, lemons, whatever citrus you like. But it's wonderful to walk into your home. I buy vintage furniture and I get used furniture. In fact, my couch that I have right now came from a friend of mine. And then another way that you can repurpose things is take your t-shirts and turn them into rags and make your jeans into an apron. I learned this week that you can actually take a rag, a t-shirt or whatever, put some lemon on it, wrap it around your bathroom sink if you've got calcium, and leave it there for an hour or so, and it'll actually, the calcium will be gone by the time you go back and get the cloth. So I think I mentioned before about ditching plastic. So anything you can do to have alternative forms of plastic. There is a matcha tea set that I've switched from drinking coffee because of all the caffeine, but this company called Matcha Tea. You can order a tea set and get an amazing matcha tea bowl, and then your tea and all your draining and stirring. So that's another mindful thing that you can do. And there's a lot of health qualities and benefits to it. The company is actually owned by Dr. Weil and Andre. He found the best matcha tea in Japan, and now we can get it in the US, which is great. Buy packages with less packaging, use a programmable thermostat, and then anytime you can take a quicker shower or take a colder shower to reduce water. If you take a colder shower, obviously you're reducing your energy as well. So those are a few things that you can do to be mindful in your daily life. And then at work, if there's a company that you feel should be doing something that's more sustainable, please write a letter to that company. Currently, Amazon and some of the different telecom companies will be renewable, 100% renewable in the next 5 years. And I think part of it's due to people writing them and reaching out to them and telling them they need to be more mindful. And I know Trader Joe's is another example. People have written them letters and saying, you've got too many things packaged in plastic and you need to relook at your packaging. And I know now they're making strides in that area as well. I would highly recommend supporting green office vendors as well. And a great thing you could do is start a green challenge with your employees. Say who can conserve the most water, who can recycle the most, and see who wins in your office, which is kind of fun. I also believing in voting with your dollars. So if you can choose a credit card that supports the national parks or supports the Nature Conservancy, things like that is really good. And then I believe in banking locally, because when you bank locally and you support local businesses, 70 cents of a dollar stays in our local economy. Whereas if you're shopping at big box stores and supporting big brands and big banks that are in other cities, only 40 cents of a dollar stays in our local economy. So I know that we also compost. I take my compost home at the office as well as my recycling. And then I know that SRP and the cities are working together with businesses to put in EV chargers in local businesses. So those are some things that you can do at work to be mindful. And then when you vacation, these are some different opportunities that you can do. You can support green events. When you're shopping, you can actually get an app, which is called the Environmental Working Group, or EWG, Environmental Working Group org. And you can put in your product and you can see how it ranks and what it gets based on what products and how green and sustainable the products are. You can look for Rainforest Alliance certification when you're traveling. You can invest in eco-friendly, sustainable travel products. In our current issue this month, we have a sustainable travel company, which has all shampoo bars and stainless steel containers to put your products when you travel in, which is pretty cool. You can always support the local economy by doing a staycation. And when you're traveling, you can take a train, see wildlife, connect with the local culture, eat local, stay at green certified hotels, as well as LEED hotels. If you're traveling somewhere, you can rent an electric vehicle car or an EV car or SUV, and definitely exercise and support farm to table restaurants. Then I put in some recycling do's and don'ts. You can look this up online on the city of Scottsdale. But one thing I do have to say, the biggest thing I can say here is just use common sense. I visited a lot of cities and talked with their public works departments, and I hear horror stories of people putting in animal feces and human waste products and needles and swing sets. So that's all I'm going to say there. But I did include a whole bunch of recycling do's and don'ts. And then things that residents and businesses can do is, I think I've hit on water quite a few times through my presentation, but we live in the desert, and anything you can do to be mindful of the water you use, even from something as small as turning off the water when you brush your teeth, makes a difference. Getting out into the mountains and preserving the McDowell Mountain Sonoran Preserve and any mountains within the valley. My husband's a McDowell Mountain steward. Get out and visit parks, trees, if you can plant a tree. I'm going to talk about that in just a minute, but there's a huge problem in Maricopa County with heat resilience. We've had more days over 90, and in underserved communities, it's really important to plant trees. I've talked a lot about waste reduction, anything that you can do to reduce the waste. I highly recommend just start looking at your packaging, energy and fuel. Look at putting solar in your home, look at switching to EVs and transportation. Anytime you can ride share or carpool or walk or bike, I highly recommend. With our partnership with the Simple Solutions that we partnered with the city of Scottsdale, every day you will get a simple solution. We're encouraging everyone to put in a simple solution. And if you put in your simple solution, you'll be entered into a contest to win 100 trees. And they will be given away at the Scottsdale Farmers Market on April 24th, which is Arbor Day. And it's 2 days after Earth Day. This is the front cover of Green Living magazine. We had an amazing article on Rob and Melanie Walton and what they've done with the organic farm at St. Vincent de Paul. If you want to pick up a Green Living magazine, these are some places where you can pick up Green Living magazine. We are at Whole Foods, we're at Sprouts, we're at local restaurants, we're at Keto Jungle, juice bars, yoga studios, fitness centers, and local venues, coffee shops, anything that kind of fits in with a conscious lifestyle. We, pre-COVID, were doing events. We were fortunate to do an event at our green apartment community that had electric vehicle charging stations in every one of its apartments. We look forward to hopefully being able to do more eco events come this fall, and we're going to be doing a wellness event this summer. So stay tuned with us. Check out our website and social media. If you don't like us already on social media, please like us on all social media platforms. And then we have QR codes that you can listen to some of my podcasts as well. This is some testimonials that we have from people that enjoy the content in the magazine. So I wanted to share these with you. And then wanted to open it up to Q&A now and ask if there's a simple solution that you do.
Yes, Dorie, thank you so much. What a wealth of
Sorry,
information.
sorry about missing all those slides.
No, I apologize for not catching that. You were doing such a great show and tell that we were all getting the message. But I'm glad we're able to get it going there for you. I do have a question from one of the participants. Question is, will you be sharing a list of your sources and recommendations?
Would they like to see my slideshow somewhere? I can put my slideshow on my website if they'd like, or email it to them, whatever they would prefer.
And we can also post it on our green building site as well at the city of Scottsdale.
Okay, that'd be great.
Yeah, and if that individual wants one to be emailed to them, just go back into the Q&A and place your address or email address. Thank you. Other questions?
The other question I asked is, what is one takeaway that you have from my presentation? Is there anything that you learned or anything that you have a question about or a nugget you want to share?
Yeah, I'm looking for some comments or at least a Q&A comment. I don't see anywhere there. Yeah, we have someone here where where I'm broadcasting from that has a comment.
Hey, Dorie, it's
Joan.
Joan Barron.
Hey, Joan, how are you?
Nice presentation.
Thank you.
Yeah, so yeah, you really loaded us up with some fabulous ideas. Many of those people are doing, but you can never do too many when it comes to saving energy, saving the planet, taking care of our brothers and sisters, the bees and the butterflies, and growing your own food and planting flowers for pollinating. Giving the bees something to pollinate is so important. We can grow so many things here in the desert. It's just amazing. And it's so cool that you're raising fish as well. And I don't know if you guys have chickens, but that's another really fun activity to do especially if you have kids.
We do not have chickens, and I'm not sure if we're allowed to have them, but if we are allowed to have them, I would love to have a chicken. And we actually just got, I was thinking about having it for the show, but we just got a desert tortoise, and it's the cutest thing. It's in Peyton's room, and it's about this big, which is kind of fun. But the other, I mean, if we've got a few more minutes, I could do, I have quite, I have a few other show and tell things.
Okay. First of all, Dorie, there were a couple other questions.
Okay.
I'll just tell you, or comments, it looks like. I learned about the recycle box from TerraCycle, was not familiar. So
Okay.
it's a comment from Susan.
Okay.
And another comment is, thanks for the tips. I have been a vegan for 4 years. We recently added 4 raised veggie gardens at my home.
Nice.
That's great.
Yeah.
Anytime you can grow your own food, I would Yes, I highly recommend. And I know Joan believes in growing your own food as well.
Yeah, big time.
She actually has a alley garden, which is pretty amazing as well. The TerraCycle, yes, I would highly recommend go to their website and look at all the different things that they do. I haven't had a chance to dig down in the whole cigarette, like how they can recycle and make some sort of product out of cigarettes. And like, that's just unbelievable. But, and there are families that seriously, family of four, that this is all the trash that they have. I've seen some amazing videos on that.
So Dory, you had a few other products to show us?
Sure, yeah. My husband actually brews, we brew our own kombucha, which is kind of fun because I was drinking it so much, and it's could be, you know, on the cheap end of things, it's $3 a bottle, but sometimes it's $5 a bottle. And if you're drinking it every day, it could add up. So a friend of him gave him the SCOBY, and we started brewing our own kombucha. So that's kind of fun thing that you can do as well. And then I had plastic wrap, but one other thing you can do is definitely use beeswax, and you can just put it over your jar. And if you don't have a lid to your jar, and then melt it down or wrap it like that, put it in your fridge, you are good to go. And then I know a lot of people forget that oh, I'm going to get my fruits and vegetables in plastic bags, but you can actually use these type of bags with your instead of plastic in the grocery store. And a friend of mine, which Joan, you'll love this too. She actually takes some of her old painting and makes purses out of it. So this is kind of cool. It's Ruby Farius Designs. So I really like that as well. And then just looking at what's in, like here's a pair of Ocean socks. It's part of the proceeds go to Oceana, and then these are organic cotton socks. So, and they're called Conscious Steps. So just look at what you're buying. I have a Green Living. All of our t-shirts are made out of organic cotton. Another big with waste is instead of using wrapping paper, you can use bamboo to put presents in, and then you can recycle it. And then you could also use scarves to wrap presents in, which is another great idea, where you can use this bamboo to wrap presents, or cloth. So it's another way to be a little bit more mindful as well. And then go ahead.
We also have a couple of other comments.
Okay.
One from Mark. Pesticides around our home, especially for scorpions, is all too common and is doing damage to our earth and families. I don't want to be a plug for our business. And naturals like cedar oil doesn't work effectively. There is an option, physical barrier on homes. Have you heard of that?
If I think I just recently did, because I think he may have talked to Sherry in my office, and I think he reached out to you, Anthony, as well.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah.
And so I would love to learn more about it. So if he wants to tell us his company, that would be great.
Okay, excellent. And then from Vincent, how do we get more people excited and involved in this movement? This is a worldwide problem that can get many involved with the correct message and promotional efforts.
I think the biggest thing you can do is talk to people that you're connected to and ask them to make one simple solution. And it could be, really small. I mean, one thing that I talked about, or that I was pretty passionate about, was straws, because 500,000 straws go into our landfill every day. And if they would just ditch the straw, That's like a small thing. And I know there's much bigger things, but, and things like before you leave your house, take your chopsticks with you instead of like all the wooden chopsticks that are going, you go and have sushi, which is one of my favorite things, but think about how many wooden chopsticks go into the landfill every day as well. But I really think it's about engaging with your friends, your family members, and creating a community. And that's what green living is doing, is bringing together making a conscious community and growing and educating people, because knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power.
Yes, certainly, definitely. And I see a comment from Tammy Bossy with the Green Chamber of Commerce. She says you pointed out that there is so much that can be done. Wow. And then Mark, Pest Border is the name of the company. Pest Border is our company. We are passionate about the damage being done.
Thank you, Mark, for commenting. I'm really excited to learn more about your company. From what I've heard from Sherry, it sounds amazing.
Okay, any other comments or questions? Well, Dorie, we all really appreciate your magazine, and over the years, I particularly appreciated the articles that I have a keen interest in, such as solar, battery storage, EV charging, electric vehicles, and all of that. You cover such a wide scale of green building, or excuse me, of green and environmental issues. That is a very important magazine, and we all appreciate what you're doing.
Thank you, Anthony, so much. We will always have articles on EV, transportation, and technology. They're kind of mainstays in the magazine. And obviously renewable energy is something that we're very big about. So my last slide, together we will have a bigger impact in 2020. So the more we can band together, which I kind of said earlier, and then thank you for listening. And I appreciate everyone's time and comment and feedback, and connect with Green Living Magazine and connect with the city of Scottsdale. And please put your simple solutions into the social media challenge, because I would love to hand you a mesquite tree on April 24th.
Excellent. Thank you, Dorie. Thank you, everyone, for attending. And the next major event will be next week for spring gardening on Thursday, the 15th. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening. Bye.
I look forward to next week's presentation. Thank you.